we went from that to like absolute fear of we've got to do whatever they tell us to say, or that's a big issue, bro.
Alexa Bliss, what I do know about Alexa Bliss is, like you said, I mean, she's dating a rock star. Her pig died, and she was born in we're born in the same hometown, Columbus, Ohio. So that's what we do share. But I mean, out of that, how would you even book her? Would you book her some type of rock star? Like, how do you create like an Alexa Bliss character that you can have variations of? Because she's young, she's still young. I mean, she may even have 10, 15 more years in the business. And how do you start afresh from Alexa Bliss? And before you answer that, it makes me even think of the fact that the shelf life of characters are getting um so much less. It's expiring so much less because, one, you're wrestling a bunch of matches with the same person all the time. Two, there's no more intrigue and there's no more riveting storylines to really continue to extend your character. And then three, your character isn't strong enough for me to even want to get to know you more. Like for Alexa Bliss, it's okay, this Harley Quinn thing calls a Randy Orton to have green goo, black goo, beats him at Fastlane, and now what? Why am I continue to be interested in that?
Bro, again, that's why when you ask me the question, okay, so, Vince, how would you book Alexa Bliss on her return? Bro, I can't answer that because I don't know anything about her. It's got to start with her. Now, if you said to me, Vince, you got Skype, StreamYard, you got 30 minutes with Alexa Bliss. Yeah. Bro, I promise you, when that 30 minutes is up, I know exactly what I'm doing with Alexa Bliss. Bro, that part of the equation is missing in wrestling. And the thing is, bro, that is such a vital and important part.
Absolutely.
That is such a vital and important part. Without that.
Yep. Yeah. It's without that, Vince, you'll just continue to see variations of the person, not the person in different variations.
Right.
Again, that's a big difference. And there's nothing about Alexa Bliss that's making me hone into her as a person. I'm not really interested in her as a person. I'm thinking about The Rock, for instance. The Rock went from this blue chip, blue collar type of person as Rocky Maivia. Then he turned into The Rock, did the nation thing, did the corporation thing, and then he became a lovable baby face and still, was known for his promos. Even in that, he became someone. It took him a couple of stints, right? It took him a couple of variations. Blue Chipper Rock wasn't, people were saying die, Rocky, die, and Rocky sucks. Nation Rock was just a stepping stone to become the Rock who he became. It's okay if it takes a little bit of time, but at the same time, that's what you should be working towards.
Chris, I can't tell you, and it was part of my repertoire. When I'm working with all these talents, because all these talents are stemming from who they really were.
Yeah.
Bro, this allowed me, when I'm going over the story with them or that week's television, this allowed me to ask them, well, bro, what would you do? What would you say? And then like a D-Lo would say, this is what I'd say. This is what I do. The real person is telling me what they would do and what they would say in that situation. And if I'm doing my job correctly, their character is a magnified version of themselves. So Correct. You believe it.
Correct.
If all of a sudden now, bro, I've got an Alexa Bliss that has been through 4 character changes, I'm going to ask her, what would you say and what would you do when she doesn't even know what character she is this month?
That's right.
That's why it's so vital, bro, because as I'm writing the stories, I could say to them, okay, bro, here's the deal. What would you do?
Yeah. And, and that note is funny because you're talking about that. you had Mick Foley, who was 3 characters in one Royal Rumble, because those are different variations of Mick Foley.
Yep.
Again, it was Mick Foley as Mankind, Mick Foley as Dude Love, Mick Foley as Cactus Jack, and we knew him before then as Cactus Jack. So he already brought that in, and you at that time doing Attitude Era, you knew how to weave all those together to say, okay, this is the 3 faces of Foley, actually, was what it became. But it was still the 3 faces of Foley. It was still Foley at the center of it.
And you want to know something? Mick will be the first to tell you he wasn't a fan of Mankind. I wasn't either, bro. I inherited Mankind.
Yeah.
I never understood what that meant. And Mick will tell you I wasn't comfortable with that. But meanwhile, he was doing Dude Love when he was a teenager.
Yep.
And he was doing Cactus. That's Mick.
Yep.
So he was very comfortable in those 2 roles. But Mick is great enough, bro, where all of a sudden there's a role he doesn't like, that he can make something of that.
Oh, yeah.
But, bro, if you're not at a Mick Foley level like that, no way you're getting it over, bro.
100% agree. And even to your point, the deranged lunatic Mick Foley wasn't the one who became over. What became over was the corporate Foley turned, corporate, kick out from Vince McMahon, which turned into a sock gimmick, but he was still Mankind, and he was over because of a sock. So it was that all those type of things, but that wouldn't have been the same if it would have been like, okay, well, this is Mick Foley as this person, and Mick Foley is this person. It was still Mick Foley as a person, knowing what to do and making different layers in his character, which was good, and it worked.
But I have to say, bro, like the level of talent between then and now, bro, talent would tell me if they weren't feeling something, or if they weren't understanding a character, or they didn't think it would work. They would tell me. We went from that to like absolute fear of we've got to do whatever they tell us to say, or that's a big issue, bro. That's a big issue, because if a talent is not feeling it, you're wasting your time trying to do it. It's never going to get over.
Correct. Ladies and gentlemen, he's Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris Featherstone, and we are the what are we, Vince? You got something rocking right? You were about to do something here. This is Writing with Russo, and have a good night. So long, everybody.